What up? What up? I'm waiting for some people to get up in here. I want to know y'all's thoughts on some thingy things here, man. There's a lot going on. Shout out to everyone tuning in. I just want to have like a discussion with everybody. I want to know y'all's thoughts on a couple of things here. I'm on my phone going live, but I'm gonna open up a tab on here. Shout out to Ayana Allen. I just want to know y'all's thoughts on a lot of what's going on. So I don't know if y'all feel this energy today, but it's been very very interesting. Let me make sure that I got some that y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Check check. All right, so I just wanted to open that up on my computer here. But yeah, there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot, I watched this Marc Hill and Judge Joe Brown, back and forth debate. Hey there, Nikita. Yeah, I want to get y'all's opinions on all that's going on. Bill Cosby being released. We got Sha'Carri Richardson and what's going on with the Olympics, and I feel like we're this particular culture that's happening right now is creating like enablers, and just by definition, a person who encourages or enables negative or self-destructive behavior. And so a lot of what I was seeing, so what is y'all's thoughts on Bill Cosby being released in general? Let me know in the comments section. What is y'all's thoughts on it? Because what I was hearing, the debate between Marc Hill and Judge Joe Brown was you're dealing with a legal matter and a moral matter. And depending on whatever side of the fence you end up, you're gonna have as far as viewpoints as far as on those particular things. Judge Joe Brown's standing as a judge, be it, TV and different things like that, we definitely can't discredit the real life judge aspect of things. And, Mark Hamill's whole stance on it was, okay, I get as far as legally, there wasn't, anything, as far as with that. But he was just all like, on a moral standpoint, we should hold them accountable and X, Y, and Z and everything like that. So what Judge Joe Brown was basically saying was that, okay, you are basically saying, he said it's an R. Kelly situation. I mean, I don't know. And I'm saying this from a very taking feelings out. I only look at facts, and the thing is, on the R. Kelly standpoint of things, there was evidence. That's why his ass is in jail. Even though it took a long time as for that, there was not just people, women, girls at the time that was coming out saying this dude literally recorded it. There's that whole thing. The reason why it's different, I don't think he did to all the women. The thing with Bill Cosby's whole situation is, what we have to look at is, besides what media is saying, besides what they've chunked out and taken out and did all of these different, and by no means defending either one of them, by any means not defending either one of them, but looking at R. Kelly, looking at Bill Cosby, the two things that are different with that is the fact you have accusations with no proof, and you have accusations with proof. Now, no matter what we personally feel or think on what anyone had did, there's that super layered aspect of things. Now, when we also look at, and I also need to help. Oh yeah, no, we definitely, yeah, no, it's well. That's why I wanted to have this discussion. 100% right. Yes, with both you and Nikita and Anna, yes, there is accountability. We're definitely going to get into that. So what Judge Joe Brown was saying, and R. Kelly, not R. Kelly, and Bill Cosby's stance with that is, if we're going to look at accountability, because the evidence on Bill Cosby, on that, there was not anything that's why he got off. Like, literally on a law level, on that particular level, that's why he got off. Then we're also putting, as far as a time frame, we as a people have to look at every single thing, which is why Judge Joe Brown was looking at, okay, let's just say, as far as the accountability aspect, we have to look at the time frame, and we also have to look at the legalities of what's going on and how they have changed. A lot of people are trying to put 2021's laws and rules back 20, 25, 30 plus years ago, and it's not the same laws, as well as it's not the same time frame. And so what Judge Joe Brown was trying to say was that, okay, being the time, we're talking about the height of the sexual revolution movement, and we're talking about someone of status, whether it had been him or a rock star or a sports player. And y'all let me know, I'm only 30, I wasn't alive during that time or anything like that, but we have to look at the accountability for the women who put themselves there. Not saying it's their fault, and again, this is not saying that there shouldn't be any accountability for Bill Cosby. What he admitted, as far as as far as they were charging him, I want to say he admitted as far as to them asking for it, and he provided it. So when we're talking about what was going on back then, that particular situation back then, because we're dealing with a he say she say, and I'm not and again, this is all, I just want to be able to have these conversations with people. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, like, you have to be accountable, which is why I personally think that this is a society that is creating enablers, whether that be on the section of women or men, enabling certain behavior that, shouldn't be enabled. We write it off, and that goes for, feeling bad or down or depressed. There's this phrase that I heard, and it was basically like, the way that a deer, you hear the deer in the headlights and different things like that. But what they also don't talk about is, let's just say the deer doesn't get hit, they then shake it off and then go about their business. A lot of how what society has enabled is enabled this soaking and sitting and being and saying that no, it's okay, like, you need to heal, which is true. But I feel like with everything that's going on, there's a lot of confusion on what healing is and what is being put to the forefront. So I'll give you an example. I saw a video today, and it was this guy reacting to this woman, this young lady, who literally the title of her video was Hoeing in Japan 101. At the time that she put that video out, she was 18. And when you go as far as her page and you go to that original video, there is a lot more likes than dislikes. And the people, especially women in the comment section, this is what I mean by as far as enablers. This was a young lady talking about getting a goal at the time she moved to Japan of having 100 dudes inside of her. Literally her words. Now again, I'm me personally, I don't paint that as every woman or anything like that, but for the large amount of women that were just like, it's okay, they're hating on you, they just don't want to, see you sexually liberated, da 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 da. What you do with your body, no matter male or female, is completely up to you. But the enabling of other women telling this 18-year-old girl that it's okay for her to, we even have a phrase, whole phase, and different things like that. Contrary to popular beliefs, and I had to sit here. Now again, what is in my world is not the same as everybody else. I can say in my world, I didn't and wasn't around, or they weren't around me, men that were talking about their high body count, or I'm about to slay these, da 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 da. Again, I know that it exists, but from that, it's, and you're right, from marriage to sexual liberation, it's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of people are looking at this like, this freedom. And it's weird because though, I don't claim a specific religion or different things like that, I observe, what's very that puts me off, is a lot of the holistic, spiritual practices or people that push that have a very toxic undertone. Me personally, I practice, I give readings, but I don't promote or anything like that if I'm in a particular energy, because I'm not going to give that out. Like, I know how whether you believe it or not, I know energy, universal. So I'm not going to exchange energy when I know, me personally, I'm not in that particular space, but there's a lot of people that will. And there's a lot of people in this holistic practice, especially people that look like us. And I get it. We're at a point in time where it's just all like, it's true. The healing, what they push and where it stems, like, that's not taken away from, the message. It's all like, don't, in this case, it would be like shoot the messenger, but not the message type of thing, but we don't want to shoot anyone. But what I'm saying, why I bring that up, with this is as far as the enabling aspect of things, so when I look at a situation where Mark Hamill and Judge Joe Brown are having this debate, and, we're looking at whether or not on a law legal standpoint, because Mark had brought up this question. He was just like, okay, and I don't agree with this, I don't think this is the same scenario, but he was just like, okay, well, should George Zimmerman had been, with that, should he have gotten off, or as far as what happened with him? And Judge Joe Brown was just all like, the reason why that happened was because our people didn't lobby and have the right people in place and vote, do everything that's needed where change can actually happen. Because there's this one video that I saw, and it made me feel a type of way, but I was just like, when I look around, I'm like, well, dang, well, there might be some, facts to that, which is, he, and this was coming from another black dude, he was just all like, we're the only people who will sit up there and, what was the wording that he used? It was just like, it was along the lines of, like, not necessarily think that the rules don't apply to us, so to speak. And this is what's going to get to the, the Miss Richardson aspect of things, and it was just like the way Judge Joe Brown was explaining as far as the whole Zimmerman thing was like, hey, that was on us. He was just all like, we've raised as far as a world of men who are not being men. When you're raised as far as, yes, weed is legal though. And so here, we sugarcoat too much. There we go. Weed is legal, but here's the thing, which is what a lot of people were saying. Me, I love weed. I push for I have a whole cannabis magna comic, everything like that. Trust me. But there is this thing where we can't mess up as far as the bag, which is, and I've had to check myself with this, because there are particular rules that are in place. We're not above the rules. And when we think that we are, things like this happen. It had nothing to do with the fact, that weed is legal, because it 100% is. It had to do with the fact that when you're in situations, where it's not necessarily a once in a lifetime thing, and of course she's young, but somebody brought up a good question. It was all like, who's in her corner? Because at the end of the day, whatever you do on your own time is your own time. But you have to take in mind that, hey, this is a possibility that, this could come up. And my thing is, who was in her corner that allowed her to do that, but didn't provide as far as the detox tea, so that way when she did have to take a piss test, she would come up clean? Like, there's certain things, like when looking at these things, and this is what I mean by enabling. Yes, weed is 100% legal. I'm about it. Bada bing, bada bing. It doesn't take away, obviously, she's freaking amazing. It doesn't take away from what she's able to do, but there's still a particular standard. And that's what I mean by we're raising enablers. Yes, you made a mistake. It doesn't mean to sit up there and put someone in, it is tied as far as to racial discrimination. Even when we talk about it being illegal in general, that whole thing, yes, it definitely was. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's the Olympics, I get it. And this is another thing, like, when we do things to heal or escape, a lot of times we are blending these two together, and I get it. I think her mom had passed, or something like that. There was a reason that she gave as far for it, that, I get that aspect of it, literally, but there's still, when we talk about accountability, we was talking about accountability before, and she has taken accountability for herself, but the thing about accountability is it doesn't take away the repercussions, I don't know, and a lot of people bring up Michael Phelps. A lot of people they bring up as far as these particular different things. It doesn't. We have to be able to learn how to maneuver through this. You know, a lot of times we feel very empowered, and it's just like this is in place. But here's the thing: until we create our own, you know, or do something in that particular type of aspect, we are in a particular, you know, I wouldn't say box, like not boxed in, but if we're participating, that's the thing. It's like someone coming into your house, you know, that's like someone coming into your house and you say, hey, I don't. You got to put your shoes as soon as you come in the house. You got to put your shoes next to the door. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks outside of that that comes in where they come different things. That is the rules of the house. If it happened to us, we would be freaking pissed off, and there would be repercussions for that. You know, so yes, we have to take accountability, but then we also have to deal with as far as the potential repercussions, because that's the thing. Sometimes we're not thinking about what's the maximum that this could be, you know, of what this could, trying to be respectful, to not smoke for people who literally are making billions of dollars off of this. Accountability is really on those who try to demonize. They're literally profiting off. No. I get it. We're talking about a cannabis industry where the majority of people that were affected by it are literally damn near 1% of legal owners of dispensaries and different things like that. I get it. There's a lot of hoops and different things that go about, but we have to be informed of how things work so that way we can change it. You know, like the same way how some parents, black or brown, you know, be mindful of that and hold the. Oh yeah. No, the systems, yes, those are in place, but we're talking about an Olympic sport, you know. The same thing in basketball, same thing, you know, and within each one of those, the same way like different states have different laws and how this may be cool over here and not demonized over here, but over here it may be. That's the same thing we're dealing with sports, you know, like, and so it's just all like, the main thing is it's all like, okay, hell, you do it, but you do the thing so that way you don't end up getting popped. Because if you do, it doesn't matter if it's a job. It's the same thing like people who, you know, I'm seeing it in the CBD field. You know, you have people, organizations that even though CBD is completely legal and it doesn't get you high, there are some, especially in government facilities, to where they prohibit even that, and they have more higher tech drug testing that will catch it, you know. So I get it, but again, when it comes to the accountability, because yes, the systems are in place and they're racist, but we have to take the accountability for knowing that they're racist and then doing something that would cause, like, it doesn't mean to be walking on, you know, shell toes, you know, but it's also to be aware that, hey, if you're walking down this neighborhood, you don't wear these colors, you don't wear this, you don't wear that. We teach our kids, some of us, we teach our kids these particular things, but then when it comes to the business world, because this is where this is going, and us as a race of people being where we're at, you know, because again, I understand as a content creator, as a black content creator on social media, there's a lot of racist stuff that goes down, whether it be suppressing content, all of these different things, and it is 100% frustrating, you know. But when it comes to business, this is where a lot of us, we lack as far as how to maneuver through, you know. And in these particular systems that are set up, we have to start moving more smart when it comes to business. You know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And if you do, cover your ass. That's the one thing that's the one thing when I was working the 9 to 5 and I was in customer support. It's the one thing my supervisor always told me: cover your ass. Because at that point, you're vulnerable. You are vulnerable. These systems, and we're aware that these systems exist. So if you know that there's a trap, you know, and that trap is there for you, and you know it exists, and you walk into that trap, even though it was there, you know, and you're a victim of that trap, but you were aware that that trap was there, you know, it doesn't take away that that trap was there, you know, and it's there for a racist reason or whatever, but it's the accountability, like you walked into the trap, you know, and that's the thing. Our feelings and different things when it comes to business endeavors, because this is what this was. This was a business fuck up. And I've had to tell myself in certain situations like, hey, cool, you like smoking cannabis, you like doing X, Y, and Z, but when you're around these people, when you're having to deal with business stuff, you know, we have to, you know, we have to come in with a different mindset. We got to hold this. Yeah, we do have to hold this system accountable. Trying to walk on eggshells around the trap, get rid of the trap. Yeah, 100%. But a lot of people, a lot of us, we're not even there or even doing things to remove the trap. Like, that's the thing. You have, like, if we're looking at it in a holistic view, they're both wrong. She wouldn't have got hit. It wouldn't have mattered if that particular thing wasn't in play. But we have to take into consideration who else got popped that we know of. You know, that's the thing. There's probably a bunch of people that smoke on the Olympics, 100%. We have to, in order to hold the system accountable and even know what we need to do to even X that joint out, you know, we have to 100% hold ourselves accountable and hold our youth accountable for these particular decisions. You know, whether that have been Floyd Mayweather, no, I trust me, I'm not bashing. I do it as well. You know, this isn't bashing, but this is where I find that there's this thing. It's very hard to speak, as far as, in my opinion, it's very hard to speak. Okay, you might be talking about some of the other people. Yeah, no, there was some people that was bashing, you know, but you know, sometimes from the community, there are some people that are straight up bashing her, and I don't appreciate that, because they're not just bashing her, they're bashing the plant. And I don't like when people put cannabis as a drug, because it literally is a plant. Now, how this is where knowledge and information and all those things come from. Now, as far as people and why they take it, this is where the escape and healing comes into place. You know, because I thought about this scenario the other day, you know, because I was hearing from a friend about a certain situation, but I've heard this situation a lot of times. Why is it that we feel when we feel bad, or we're looking for a way to cheer ourselves up, do we go to the bar? You know, and when we go to the bar, whether you're a man or a woman, and you're not there as far as for connecting, or to talk to people, again, whether male or female, but you get upset in the environment that you're in. The bar is not a healing environment. But yet, so often I see so much of us, again, either male or female, that go to the bar as a way, to heal, but then they're not healing, i.e., there's some chaos that ends up happening, someone shooting, they're being hit on when they don't want to be hit on, type of things, and so I 100% communion and libations, but spiritually, that can be anything. Intention is important. No, I definitely agree. But the thing is that most of us are not, like, in a perfect world. In a perfect world, that would be amazing. I set my intention to go out there, and I'm feeling, in a bad mood or whatever. And again, this is where, like, the thing is, like, why do we feel like drinking or different things like that is going to get us in this particular better mood, or different things like that? And that's what I mean by escape and healing. So when I look at, as far as people who do that, and then they're in these situations, their intention was to just go chill, everything like that. But this is where we have to hold ourselves accountable. You can't control, a lot of the stuff that goes on, at the bar, or different things like that. You can control you can control your reaction as far as the thing, and you can control whether or not you were there. Too often we go to the bar or this, even though the intention may be to do X, Y, and Z, the reality doesn't, most of the time, I wouldn't say most of the time. Yeah, you can go to the bar and end up, sparking a conversation with someone who ends up being, a good friend. Me being a performer and performing in bars and venues, I've had that a lot of times. But that's me being a performer and entertainer in this particular situation, not me going, as a form of, like, healing. Now, I can heal as a performer, and again, yeah, you can set those particular intentions, but me personally, like, I don't, when it comes to bar, I've performed in bars and venues for over a decade, so I know, as far as the surrounding, no matter what intention or anything like that, it's just not a place to heal. If that's what you're, like, I'm talking, like, let me clarify. I'm talking about, like, you had a death in the family. You had a death of a friend, or there's some illness or something as far as the line of that. Even a heartbreak. For one, you can drink at home. That would be more healing, as far as than to, go into a circumstance where there's other people and things that you can't control, and a particular energy that's there in general. Like, that's the thing, and when it comes to THC, because I've seen this, and I've been, victim myself, because of not understanding and doing, as far as the research with understanding how this stuff works. A lot of people that smoke THC don't need to be smoking THC for the elongated time that they're smoking. because what ends up happening is some people, the THC, depending on the strain, depending on the percentages, depending on if it's an indica or sativa, understanding how that stuff works with your body. The majority of us were just all like, here's some herb, and then we smoke it, and then that's that, you know. But what I'm seeing is that there's a looped pattern that I see some people in, and it's because of the fact that we're on the THC aspect. We have to really sink in the fact that it is a mild psychoactive. Imagine microdosing on shrooms all day. You know, again, it's not, you're not getting the far-fetched visuals, but you're literally in a state that's not normal. And some people are using that to escape, but then there's no destination for the escape, so there's this constant pattern that goes on, and so they smoke, and then there's a pattern of things that go down, and then it repeats itself. And so that at that point, people who are just all like, I smoke THC, to relieve stress, to do this, to do this, to do this, but the plant is supposed to heal. There should be, at some point, yes, there's stress and different things that come about, but a lot of the times the people are not, they're not respecting the plant, for one. It doesn't matter really what plant or anything like that. You don't abuse it. It's a sacred plant, so that's why me personally, yes, I do THC, but I also do CBD as well, for the sheer fact that a lot of people don't realize that within any THC that you smoke, there's going to be a particular THC level, but there's also going to be a CBD percentage, a CBG percentage, and a lot of the times, the healing aspect that you think that you're getting from THC is actually the CBD portion or the CBG portion, and it's not to say that THC in itself doesn't have healing properties, because it does. But the thing is, a lot of us are not taught on any of this stuff. So then, that's the same thing that when it comes to the laws, that's the same thing. So when we first understand our own system and take accountability for our own system, then we can stand a shot against these bigger systems. Because if not, it's a constant, and we've seen it for years, not even just years, for decades. It seems like this impenetrable, thing. But then when I look at our community and I look at it as a whole, I'm just like, well, dang, like, we got to get this system underway, and we have to make sure that our youth and our elders and everybody as well knows these things, as well as, again, not enable. That's the thing. It's one thing to sit there and be like, you made a mistake, X, Y, and Z, but then there's another thing as far as join my wisdom center as a group leader, please. Yeah, send me the information. Yes, please do. I would literally love that, like literally. There's, when taking that accountability and that system, and allowing for someone, and that's why I wanted to make this particular not comparison, but I wanted to talk, thank you. I wanted to make these particular things as far as, because Bill Cosby is our elder, Richardson is our youth, and we're both dealing with levels of accountability. Now I will say that our youth, she's taking that accountability, In Bill Cosby's case, I want to say he admitted as far as in his youth, um, in his words, I want to say he said that because they asked for it. He was a celebrity. They were hanging out and wanted to hang out as the rock star, Bill Cosby or whatever. They asked for that. Now, whether that be these little, whatever. I've been around parties. I've been around, different things like that. And some people, whether male or female, they're going to get those things, those pills, just for the fun of it. Like literally for the fun of it. There is no need, like that's the thing. We have to take into consideration on the accountability level of both aspects. So that's a lot of what I wanted to dive into is just like, and again, I see it within myself, and I'm constantly observing and course correcting myself and different things like that. And I realize of course not everyone's like that. And that's one of the things that I had to realize growing up. Not everyone's gonna have or have the same values as you or think what you think is important or X, Y, and Z. That doesn't mean to think that you're above or below people. It's just literally everyone's in their own universe in one universe. Like it's a trippy thing to be like, oh, this person literally has their own world, and in their world, everything that's going on with them is 100% valid and to them. But there's another half of it, which is reality on everything else, and that's a lot of what I've had to look at. There's my reality, and then there is the reality. And simultaneously existing through all those, navigating and just being like, it's interesting. But thank y'all. I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to get y'all's opinions on it. I was just hearing all different types of things, and usually like I don't get on here and talk about this. I'll say some stuff in regards to like my music or my book or anything like that, or CBD. But I just felt like this. I was just seeing so many different views on it, and I just wanted to see how everybody was thinking about it. And that way, because my thing is I like to have an open mind. I don't look at this as this. If something gets a reaction from me or causes me to like kind of look at it sideways or different things like that, I find out why. And I do the research because I gotta know. Like I can't go off of feelings, because a lot of times those can be very blinding. And so often when people are having debates or arguments, they're putting feelings with logic. They don't fit. And a lot of times the feelings doesn't care about facts, logic, statistics, everything like that, which can be very dangerous, because we need our feelings and everything like that, but that's why we have a brain. That's why we have a brain, to be able to think, before certain things, to actually take in what is being said and process what is being said. And I'm not perfect. There'll be certain things that are triggered, and I gotta, because when you're triggered, you're in the defense, so you're not open, you're not receiving, and unfortunately, that's a lot. Like it's very hard to get to certain points, whether it be with elders and the youth, and come into this common ground, because there's so much emotion, rightfully so, but at the same token, like we gotta do something. There's a lot of enabling going on, which is so toxic in the long run. We can see how certain things played out. You can just see certain people who were raised and a lot of their things were enabled. You see them as adults. This is gonna play out the way it's supposed to play out. But for me, when it comes to tackling these systems, getting some solutions, it starts here. It starts here. It starts with us. It starts inside the man, the woman in the mirror. You heard Michael Jackson say it, you know. And when we fully understand that, you know, and be able to be like, okay, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. You know, this being able to be in this particular feeling, this emotion, different things like that, what is, you know, that thing? And I get it. A lot of us are in circumstances and all different types of things that it's hard to even get to that point, because it's just like, I mean, I feel what you're saying, but you know, rents do. Like, I feel what you're saying, but you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know, it's just taking that breath, taking that step back, and being like, okay, I can keep doing this way, and either several things are gonna happen. Either I'm gonna keep doing this, you know, and nothing is going to happen, you know, or I can do something different, because you already know the results that you're getting from doing it this way, and obviously you're not happy, you know. But it's taking, a lot of us, we talk about faith, we talk about, you know, all these different things, but then we lose the faith within ourselves. We lose the faith in our capability to be able to execute and get particular things done, you know. So like I said, I'm learning. I just turned 30. I'm just observing and just looking at everything, you know, just you know, looking. And I see it a lot, whether it be our relationships with ourselves, or relationships with our parents, or relationships with, you know, the opposite sex. Like, it is chaotic, you know, but there's a lot of enabling in the disguise of healing. There's a lot of enabling in the disguise of forward motion. There's a lot of enabling in the disguise of freedom. You know, people don't realize sometimes you're enabling and you're pushing someone into that very same cage that they don't want to be in, you know, but that they don't know, but they don't have the hindsight yet to even realize, you know, hey, freedom, you know, is a responsibility. That's what I'm learning, you know. And with that, it's learning, you know, more and more how to dive into the things that make us uncomfortable. You know, no one wants to be uncomfortable, but literally uncomfortable, in my experience, being uncomfortable has led to some of the most greatest things, you know, outside of that comfort zone, outside of, you know, this particular way of doing things, you know. So it's just interesting. But hey, I'm gonna go get some food. Thank you, Ayana. I look forward to your DM. That'll be super fun. And yeah, y'all have a good one. Make sure y'all pre-order, you know, that being, you can pre-order the comic, which is a stoner cannabis comic. The mixed book by the Black Writers of San Antonio. This is literally an anthology of several Black writers, including myself. And then my first work of fiction, Ideas of Illusion. All at dapshow.com/shop, or you can also get CBD. I have flower as well as my blended CBD pre-rolls. So, hey, and avoid burnout by burning up the CBD pre-roll. So I'll holler at y'all later. Thank y'all so much. Peace.